For nearly 1 year, Russia has pursued a strategy of destruction, a strategy of terror, trying to bomb the people of Ukraine into submission, and we have witnessed this strategy in Bakhmut, in Soledar, or more recently in Dnipro. But Ukrainians are resisting, and they will continue to resist. And we, the European Union, will continue to support them for as long as it takes. We will continue our military support thanks to an increase of the European Peace Facility. The time is now. They urgently need more equipment, and I am personally in favour of supplying tanks to Ukraine. We have also adopted a macro-financial assistance programme of 18 billion euros, and we are stepping up the pressure on the Kremlin with a 9th package of sanctions. We have also increased our material aid, especially to help Ukrainians face winter, as Russia continues to destroy their infrastructure. We have sent nearly 80,000 tons of material, such as generators, boilers, and transformers. The European Union and its member states are massively supporting Ukraine. We have already committed nearly 50 billion euros, and European citizens are in favour of this support, according to the latest Eurobarometer. Our citizens know that supporting Ukraine means supporting peace, democracy, and the international order. Ladies and gentlemen, the European Council had a debate on our transatlantic relationship, a debate closely linked to another key priority for the EU, our European competitiveness, especially of our industry and future technologies. And this will feature at our next European Council meeting in February. The European Union and the United States, we are close allies. Yet, even allies sometimes have differences. And this is the case with the Inflation Reduction Act. This legislation creates $370 billion package of subsidies and tax credits to develop an ecosystem of advanced technologies, to foster the climate transition and to promote American leadership in these sectors. And let's be clear, these goals are laudable and legitimate, but their translation into the IRA poses serious problems for international competition and trade rules, and we sincerely hope the dialogue with our American friends will lead to concrete positive results. Let's be clear, in my opinion, European companies must be able to benefit from the same conditions as Canadian and Mexican companies. But, dear colleagues, we must look reality squarely in the face. Our American ally is embracing a massive state aid policy, and China continues to invest state money in its technology sector. In Europe, we must also act to show our European industry and to our citizens that we are up to the challenge. Our European model consists of a social market economy that implies, for very good reasons, higher labour and environmental costs, and the current energy crisis means that we'll have to face higher energy costs for the foreseeable future. The EU has helped to build a global system based on free trade while striving to ensure a level playing field, but we cannot stand idly by as our main competitors embrace policies of massive economic support for their companies. We must therefore mobilise massive resources to drive forward an ambitious European industrial policy, to boost competitiveness, to turbocharge productivity, and to spur investment. And that's why, in December, the European Council has tasked the Commission with bringing forward proposals in view of our next meeting. Mesdames et messieurs, nous le voyons bien, le moment que...
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's clear that this is a key moment to support the economic future and the future of the internal market in the European Union. And that should be part of the European Council meeting in February. we need to take decisions on this. The first one relates to the state aid regime. This is part of the European Union's ambition to put faith in globalization and private initiative. We need to develop the economic base of the European Union. And we can see that the world around us has meant that we have to look at changes that are going to be necessary, and we want operational proposals from the Commission so that we can benefit from a changed regime there while guaranteeing the rules of the internal market. It's important to ensure that there are no double standards. We need to ensure that we consolidate the dynamics of the internal market. The second point relates to common sense. We want to mobilise current existing resources at the European level, so the budget, the recovery plan, but also at the national level we need to ensure that there's more flexibility. We need to reorient and prioritise funding so that we can deal with the situation as it develops. And then the third issue that we need to deal with is to ensure solidarity. Not all European countries have the same financial capabilities. And we need to ensure a level playing field with our competitors, but we also need to ensure that there's more economic and social convergence at the European level as well. So I'm therefore one of those who believe that we need to look at a possible extension of the Shore mechanism so that we can provide a realistic and tangible response to the issue of solidarity. And then a fourth point, I'd like to express my solidarity for the idea which was raised during the State of the Union speech by the President of the Commission here with regard to a European sovereignty fund. This is something that will take more time. There's going to need to be detailed work on this if we're going to bring it forward. But if we believe in the strategic autonomy of the European Union, if we believe it's important to pool our resources so that we can invest in the future and also pool the benefits, then we need to come up with something like that. And it's the European Investment Bank that should play a major role there. We need to base ourselves on the Commission's proposals with the mobilisation of the Parliament and Member States to ensure that we have a tool that reflects our economic power. And I think this is closely linked to strategic autonomy and independence. We're very aware that the situation under which the European Union was built has now changed because China is changing the rules of the game by providing massive subsidies and is also being changed by our main partners at the international level. This in many areas. They're changing their priorities. They've established this massive plan, and that means that we have to act rapidly and decisively to consolidate the capacities of the internal market so that we can ensure that it's a key trump card for the future of the European Union. These are a few points that I wanted to share with you, colleagues. Just very briefly, let me make a few other points that relate to the European Council meeting of December. On energy, I think you'll have followed the debates, and I think we've made significant progress since our last meeting here in the Parliament. There was a proposal from the Commission, and now we have this ceiling for the price of gas. This is a decision that has improved the situation with regard to gas prices, and we've also seen that storage issues have been eased. But this is an issue that we're going to continue to have to talk about, particularly when the Commission proposal on reforming the electricity market comes out, which is another extremely important issue. Finally, the Council was also an opportunity to briefly touch on the issue of migration with the ambition of coming back in February to discuss it in more detail. The figures are well known. In 2022, there was a significant increase in illegal arrivals to the European Union, so we're going to have to once again commit ourselves to the issue. we're going to have to deal with the external factors that relate to migration. We're going to have to work with our partners. We're going to have to secure the EU's external borders, but we're also going to have to move forward on the Migration Pact. There's an agreement here on legislative work, and I hope that together with the Council, the Parliament will be able to move forward and implement the roadmap that we currently have, which means that we may well, in a fair and responsible manner, be able to deal with the challenge of migration. And to conclude, colleagues, I can't finish without leaving you with a thought for women, young people, and the people of Iran, who are rising up against a brutal regime, a regime that keeps them in a reign of terror. And the Council aims to boost the sanctions regime, and this is particularly the case because Iran is supporting Russia militarily in its attack on Ukraine. So the faces of the women, the young people, the Iranians who are rising up for freedom, these are the faces of freedom, of democracy, and of standing up and taking responsibility, and we should be committed in supporting those who stand up for freedom and democracy. Let me conclude by saying that 2023 will certainly be a key year for the European project. Just a few days after the start of the year, we already face uncertainties, but there are also some things we can look to. We're having this debate on European strategic autonomy. We have these pillars that are at the heart of what we do. So energy, that is key for sovereignty, and we also need to deal with climate challenges, and we also need to support our families and ensure the competitiveness of our businesses. So that's all one pillar. Then we have defence. We're providing military support to Ukraine. And there's a statement from NATO, which was validated by myself and the President of the Commission. And we want to boost Europe's capacities in the field of security. And then the third pillar is the technological basis, innovation. All societies that have progressed in the history of the world that have managed to raise living conditions have based themselves on technology and innovation. These are key challenges if we want to ensure a secure and prosperous future for our citizens. And all of this is based on the double promise of our founding fathers, peace and prosperity. That's what the European Union was based on, and once again, unity will be the key factor for us to deal with the challenges that we collectively face. So thank you for this excellent cooperation that we have with the European Parliament, and you can count on the Council, even more than you imagine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Michel. And now I give the floor to President of the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. You have the floor.